Hey team, today's episode of the Small Business Big Marketing Show is brought to you by WebCentral and Designcrowd. You know, for many businesses, getting that website live and keeping it updated feels like pulling teeth. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Get the team at WebCentral on your side and owning a website will be more like, kicking back on a hammock on a deserted island. It's easy. Check them out at webcentral.com.au/Timbo. And what about design? Do you love the way your business presents itself to the world? Do you have a beautiful logo people comment on? Brochures they don't want to throw away? Why not? It's not that hard. Get Designcrowd on your side over at designcrowd.com.au/Timbo. Do you ever find yourself discounting in order to get business? You know it's a race to the bottom, right? Fortunately, there's an easier way to get more customers, and it involves you charging full freight. Join me as today's guest explains how he's built a hugely successful business, and he can't actually remember the last time he discounted.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I am your host, Timbo Reid, but you, so much more importantly, you're a motivated business owner and you are ready to crank out some marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Hey, big show today, team. I chat with this fellow Tas Moulis of QPaint, who shares 3 effective ways to avoid the discounting price trap. Oh yeah, to be avoided. Plus, so much more, including a marketing strategy that led to death threats, but he's glad he did it, and another one that quadrupled his business. Plus, I go on site with Orange Sky Laundry, that wonderful mobile washing service for homeless people, on a cold winter's night in Melbourne. As per usual, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in. Now, coming up after this interview, join me as I go on site with Orange Sky Laundry crew, chatting to one of their volunteers and to one of their homeless friends who taught me a life-changing lesson or 3. But first, let's have a chat with Tas Moulis, who came across my radar a few weeks ago when I was doing a podcasting job for Dulux. Tas owns a painting company in Queensland called QPaint that does both residential and commercial work. He's been doing it for years, and over that time, he's established some unbelievably effective business and marketing practices that apply to all sorts of businesses. Some are incredibly brave, not the businesses, the practices, some bleedingly obvious, and some that get overlooked by way too many business owners, maybe you. We cover a lot, and I mean a lot of ground here, with the main focus being on Tas's top 3 ways to avoid discounting. However, we also cover client relationships, weeding out the bad clients, and the importance of being honest about where you are at in your business right now. I started off by asking Tas, what's the problem with discounting?
Oh, the main problem, the biggest problem with discounting is, for trade, for example, I see a lot of guys discounting because when they don't actually understand their numbers. So they're coming out of working for, $35 an hour, potentially in a job, up to $35 an hour, and they go out and assume that they can charge that, but they don't understand that they have overheads. They've got expenses. They've got their time not on the tools. And when they work at the end of the week, that they're actually putting in 70 hours a week, only charging for the time on site, 40 hours a week, they realise that 35 is more like 17.
It's a race to the bottom, isn't it?
It's a race to the bottom, definitely. And then they go and undercut. So they'll see potentially there'll be a few people quoting on a job and they'll just go, oh, no, I'll just drop it 10%. But they don't understand that's dropping their margins.
Yeah.
And they're working for less. So it's a race. Yeah, you're right. It's a race to the bottom.
When was the last time you discounted, Tas?
I can't remember.
That's impressive.
I can't remember. It's not that we don't make room for when clients come back and ask us questions. It's just I know exactly what my numbers are. I know each particular market that we work in four main markets: commercial, new, residential, being repaints of houses, government, and body corporate strata sort of complexes. So I know my margins in each one. So I know when someone comes back to me and says, "Oh, you're a little bit of fat in there," and I'll know whether there is or not.
How do you get to the point? You don't have to go into detail because I may well fall asleep. But how do you get to the point of knowing your numbers so well? Because many business owners don't.
I know just from my experience, I started trial and error. I'd work out how long it took me to do something. So originally I'd go out and when I started out, I'd do a quote, had no idea. So I'd go, okay, I think it's about X, $1,000. But then when I did it, I'd go, no, shit, that was actually, excuse me. Here's a friend, tradie speaking. Thought we're on site. No, that actually cost me $1,200. Okay, there's a learning mistake, learning experience. Go back again. So for me, it was trial and error. I worked out, okay, how much per square metre for painting, for example. We work by square metres an item. So I worked out how much per square metre wall I could do, how many doors I could do. And then as I got bigger and bigger, I worked out an average how much a guy could do.
And what were you doing, Taz? As through this process, were you keeping a journal, a spreadsheet, just keeping it all up in your head?
No, spreadsheets. I was very new to computers back then. So this is early 2000s, 2001 to 2003.
You're ahead of your time.
Well, I had no idea. Using Word and Excel, trying to, sit at night, all night, trying to work out how do I work this out?
Yep.
How do I make sure that when I quote, I'm accurate, or at least better than what I am now, not hit and miss. Fast forward probably until 2008, Tim. When I got to 2008, I realised that I didn't want to be on the tools anymore. If I had to get off the tools, I really had to be clear on how things got done, how much they cost, how much I could charge. If I did X amount of quotes, how much I would win. So then I really got sharper on what numbers were important for me.
And now you know your numbers intimately. And if someone does say to you then, hey, Taz, we like you, mate, but can you give us a 10% discount?
It's a loaded question. If they're an existing client, have a relationship with them, we'll look at the job. I'm being honest with you. If it's a new client, we don't really do it with new clients.
Why?
Because I haven't established a relationship with them.
Right.
So if they're coming from a discounting point of view, I'm going, okay, obviously they can't see value in what we're doing. Then I need to re-engage this conversation or dialogue with them and go back to them and go, okay, because now I understand that they don't see the value in what we're doing. So if they're dropping 10%, that means they've just seen a number and gone, oh, we'll drop it 10%. So I need to re-engage in that dialogue again and go back into that conversation just to make sure. There could be two things could have happened. I may have overpriced it. That can happen. Or they don't understand what they're getting.
So I know one of your big tips for everyone listening is in order to avoid discounting, you've got to build relationships. So you talked earlier this value. They're not seeing value in the relationship yet. How do you get a client to see the value?
This probably sounds counterintuitive, but we don't do this intentionally. But what I found is my clients, long-term clients, something's always started at the beginning that went wrong. And we fixed it. And we made it 10 times better than what it actually was the first time around. Right. And I found the opportunity for us is, for example, I'm running a few jobs at the moment. I've got my eyes on the ball all the time. If there's an opportunity to build a relationship, if something potentially is not right, I use it as an opportunity to build a relationship with the client and expose it, correct it, and show them we've corrected it.
So let me get that right. Do you actively look for things that aren't
problems.
Right? Do you actively look for problems, right? Do you ever?
I do.
Love it. And they occur, but they're always going to occur. Do you ever actually go and create a problem in order to fix it?
No, I haven't done that.
Come on, Taz. No one's listening, mate.
No, I haven't. No. Look, I think by me looking, maybe I'm inventing it, but I don't think I've created a problem. Okay,
so give us an example. You've got a new client. You're going, I've got to get these guys to see the value in us so we don't get to the price discussion. Now take me through where you've identified a problem and fixed it.
So if they haven't already seen it, sometimes they see it first. If I'll go through two scenarios. First, scenario one is they see it, they bring it up. used to happen in our business is they'd call, get an email, I'd get it. I may address it a couple of days later with another email, and that little problem becomes a bigger problem, even if it's just something along the lines of they weren't sure what day we were starting. So it may not even be a big problem, but it gets bigger. What I've learnt now in that instance is to address it straight away. Get on the phone. Everyone knows I'm office now. Do not email back. Get on the phone and talk to the client straight away, because anyone can email, anyone can talk to them a week later. Get on the phone and just hear them out. I found that 90% of the time,
that's 9 times.
The client just wants to be heard.
Yeah.
They just want to know that we're here, where they're coming from.
Yep.
Sometimes the problem isn't the problem. In their eyes, it's a problem, but for us, it isn't. But it's not about us defending ourselves. It's about us letting them be heard.
So, again, relationships, showing value. One strategy there is to identify problems and fix them. And old school, get on the phone, not email, not a text, not, whatever else it may be.
Or even better, get out there.
Face to face.
I had an issue that came up face to face.
Is that unheard of?
Well, no one does it anymore.
I know.
Everyone hides
There's a great
email.
saying, when everyone else is shouting, whisper. And it's just that exactly thing. Everyone is phoning and emailing and texting, and even the amount of places you get contacted these days. There's Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, and it goes on and on. So you've just gone back and said, no, we're face to face.
So much simpler.
So much simpler.
For instance, I got an email at 9:30 last night from a big job we're working on from the builder. He raised a few concerns. I was out there 7 o'clock this morning. In 15 minutes, sorted. Beautiful. What potentially could have been a big drama.
Yep.
If I hadn't addressed it straight away.
Yeah, right.
If I addressed it with an email, he could. The thing I don't like about an email is you don't know how the other person's going to receive it.
Mm-hmm. You mean how they're going to read it?
How they're going to read it?
Yeah.
How they're going to take that. I could, with all best intention, respond with a really well-intentioned email, but they can read it another way.
Mm-hmm. Great.
So I'm not a big fan of emails that are longer than 2 paragraphs. If I can't say it in a paragraph, get on the phone, because there's too many things to take. Yeah, there's too many situations that can go pear-shaped.
Taz, before we leave the whole relationship strategy thing, anything else? I noticed on your website you've actually got a very good little, very short and effective video that takes new clients through a 5-step process. And I'm looking at this going, man, this is beautifully produced. It's one of those animated explainer videos, listeners, but it's beautifully produced, and it has a 5-step process that says, hey, listen, as a client of QPaint, this is what's going to happen. And I think the first step was we sit down and have a chinwag over a cup of coffee and understand what you need. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I think for most people, you just got to sit down with them and find out what they want. Typically, what I realised, Tim, was someone gets on the internet or gets on the phone or sees a sign and calls up and says, hey, I'd like a quote. And now if even the contractor or the painter or the tradie and the client have positioned this whole relationship around a quote. It's not around a quote. It's about building a relationship with someone you want to work with.
Yeah.
And then if what would happen typically is the tradie would rock up on a certain day, hopefully on time, measure up, give them the quote there or go away, send them the quote, and then that would be the end of the relationship.
Yeah.
Whereas when the person actually wanted to get something done, they didn't want a quote. They actually want to get something fixed. They either want it painted, they want some plumbing done, they want electrical work done, they want a pool, they want to build a deck. That's what they called for. They didn't call for the quote. The quote's just part of the process.
Part of the process, yeah, interesting.
Just part of the process. And so many guys I see, they get stuck on the quote, do the quote, and then do not contact the client ever again. And I go, wow, you invested so much time and money in that.
No follow-up.
No follow-up. It's scary.
Extraordinary.
Very scary.
Yeah, the eyes on the quote. It's like, that's the biggest job I've got to do. I've got to get the quote out. And then you get the quote. I could draw the same analogy with a website for business owners. A website is painful to get live, and you finally get it live, and then you just leave it sitting there and never make a change. And I think sometimes
never update it.
Never update it. So whether we're talking marketing or business in general, you've got to figure out what is the end game. The end game's not getting a quote out. So that's good advice, mate. Tell me.
Well, I realised that 2 years ago, because we were doing so many quotes, and I mapped out our process and go, hang on, slow down, everyone. The most critical part of this process is that meeting, relationship, and the follow-up.
Yep.
The quote's just part of it. And for us...
As I hear you say that too, the critical part is the follow-up and the meeting, and it should be the fun part.
It is the fun part. We rush through it.
Yeah.
we rushed through it. And I sat down and looked at it and go, okay, why is it that there's too much pressure on follow-up when really when the client has asked us, engaged us to go past, spend an hour with them, measure up, have a discussion about what they want, you're qualified to call them back. We've already done the hard yards. The follow-up should be just getting back to them and say, first of all, did you get it? Do you have any questions? Potentially they didn't receive it. Potentially they've got some questions and they don't understand it.
Do you know, a colleague of mine, Tas, he's in professional services. I won't say which one, but what he does is he does email the quote, but then he follows it up a day later with a second email he does a screen capture video. So he has a bit of software like ScreenFlow or Camtasia that records what's happening on your screen and records what you're saying, and it turns it into a video. So what he does then is that 24 hours after sending the quote the first time, he follows it up with a video saying, hey, listen, just in case you didn't get that quote or haven't opened it, let me take you through it. And he steps by step on this video walks through each line of the quote. And then his third step is to follow them up by a phone call. So I think sometimes we're scared to follow up. It's like maybe we don't want to hear them say no. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's one thing that it is. You know?
Oh yeah, I do understand. I'm happy to hear no. No or yes. I just want to know where we stand.
Yeah. Is a no to you?
Depends on the no.
When's a no not a no?
When's a no not a no? When they're not saying no, when they're still thinking about it, but they want to put it off to another time.
Yeah, right. Tas, you've got a couple.
For us, I know our major objections are talk to the partner and money. That's the same too for us. Time sometimes. Time, money, and partner.
You've got a couple of other ways of avoiding the price trap. I know one is being unique. Tell me about being unique. Why is that important?
Well, here's simple one. Show up on time, clean, be unique. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to, invent the iPhone 7 and be unique.
Right.
You just do the simple things. Call before you go out there.
Yep.
Show up 5 minutes early. Get the quote when you say you're going to get it back to them. Any information, usually, sometimes you do a job and there's some more information you have to get back to the client. If you say you're going to do something, just do it.
Yeah. Extraordinary,
Follow up. So, just do what you say you're going to do. It's not that complicated. I think with tradies being so busy doing their trade all day and then having to do the quotes either on the weekends or after hours or in between jobs, they see it as a task and they do it and move on.
Yeah, right.
They don't fully appreciate that these are my words now, that's where the money is. Mm-hmm. What we do is just a task. And when I worked, I don't have this big learning experience. I don't have a big aha moment 10 years ago when I figured out when I was quoting 1 day a week and I was painting 4 days a week, that if I was winning back then, I'd potentially win like $5,000 worth of work a week on 1 day. I said, well, I can't make $5,000 worth a week in wages the other 4 days. So what would happen if I quoted 5 days a week? I thought, okay. Then me on the tools at $25 an hour is actually costing me hundreds and hundreds of dollars a day.
A day, yeah.
A day, minimum. And when I had that, I don't know what it was, just snap in my head going, okay, me painting is costing me money.
How interesting is that? Because I'm guessing you must have enjoyed painting though. And to get off the tools, I mean, you started QPaint, putting words into your mouth here, but in order to paint homes and offices. You enjoyed doing that. You didn't start it to be the bloke going around town doing quotes, which is what you do now.
No, I didn't know that. Yeah,
so what do you say to business owners listening who are going, but I love doing what I do. I don't want to be the person doing the quotes, following up, doing the admin.
Then I'd say to them, that's fine. Work out what you don't like doing and find someone that's better than you and do it. I worked out early on, and I'll be honest now, I'm
what do you mean now?
Average. No, I'm an above average painter, but what I realised I was really good at organising people to get stuff done. I don't know if I was just a little bit lazy, but I know I can remember in my early 20s, I was really good at getting 3 or 4 or 5 guys to get a job done on time, really well, That's what I was good at.
That's what you're good at.
I was good at organising people. Okay, I could see the problem. I knew to solve the problem. I knew to put the people in the right spot to get the job done. If I was to paint it myself, it would take longer and probably not be as good.
Can you quantify the change it made for you going from charging yourself out at $25 an hour as a painter to spending day in, day out doing quotes?
Quantify the
or was it tens of thousands of dollars? Yeah. Can you put a dollar value on it or a percentage on it?
I can say between 2006 and 2010, my business quadrupled.
Yeah, right.
It quadrupled. And there was other things as well. I had to put some systems in, and there was other processes as well. But me getting off the tools and getting out of my own way, the business grew.
Fascinating. Going back to that idea of being unique, Tas, because I know you've got one other tip, or you probably got another 5 tips on discounting. Happy for you to share them, but it's almost it's a damning claim, isn't it, on a lot of businesses that are not being unique, because all of a sudden it opens it up for other businesses to do the simple things like showing up on time, like just doing things that are almost tickets to the game.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses aren't doing. And being unique is not that hard. As you say, you don't have to invent the iPhone 7.
No.
We had Josh Nichols from Platinum Electricians on this show about 3 years ago, and his way of being unique was a 21-step customer experience charter that every single one of his Sparkies had to implement on every job. Simple things from arriving on time to wiping your feet to, saying goodbye. Just very, very simple things. But boy, all of a sudden, 1 + 1 = 11.
Yep. And making it a process for the boys.
And a process, yeah, totally. Now, one other thing you've got to know to avoid discounting, another tip is understanding your target market. What's that all about?
I think, let me I'll put it into residential repaints, for example. Now, typically what will happen is, a client will go to Google or go to some sort of directory or yellow pages to find their services. But what happens, or a directory, there's a lot of directories out there, online directories. But what happens is if you're in that group, when, say, there's a group of people that want to get some painting done, and they all go to Google and they type in, I need a painter in Brisbane, and they land on the page and they click and they get 3 quotes. The problem there is they're looking for the services when they need them. So what's happening is those guys, if it's a directory, for example, are all rushing to this job to quote in this job, and they're going to be competing on price because there's no differentiation between them at all. There hasn't been any time to build a relationship between they've clicked on the link or they've gone on the yellow pages, they've gone out to the quote. It's immediate. Is that cool? Whereas if in our business, so we build going back to the relationships. When we're building relationships with clients, we're trying to build relationships with people. So for example, we do home shows. So we go to the home shows because we understand the people that come to home shows are going to be renovating. Usually they're going to be renovating or doing something to their house sometime in the near future, whether 3 months or 12 months down the track. So we start building it with database. We're getting names and numbers of people that come to these home shows, these HIA home shows, early on in the piece, so we can start building a relationship with them during that time when they're going to get this construction done. Painting's last, so we have the advantage of if they're getting some building done, we're towards the end anyway. So I'm targeting that residential market before they need me.
Yeah, right.
So,
but how do you get to know them? How are you getting to understand them? Because we can understand them demographically. You're getting an email address. You might be getting where they live. But how do you understand them at a more intimate, emotional level? We don't really get to know them at an emotional level straight away. We have a newsletter that goes out, so we're building a relationship with them from a authority point of view. So we're positioning ourselves, letting them know that this is what we do well. This is how we do it. Here's some examples. Here's some other people that think that we do a good job. And that's how we're positioning ourselves from an emotional point of view. I think we're just trying to get into their psyche that we've been around for a while. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because I think if we're just touching them at least once a month, even if they don't open their email we'll be in their peripheral for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for example, we do jobs now that people have been in our database for 2 years that we've never been to their house, but they've just seen that newsletter come up every month.
Yeah, right.
And I've seen that they've opened up the one newsletter when they need a paint job. They have not opened 23, but they opened one.
Mm. Yeah, it's part of the whole marketing thing is about being there throughout the year for a lot of businesses, because you don't know when someone's going to need their house painted or their office painted.
No.
You know, I had an email from a listener only this week who said, not from a listener, actually from a guest, a past guest who said, you know, I was on your show 18 months ago and someone only recently called me to utilise their services. And, you know, again, it's about that guest sought me out. They appeared on this show. It was part of their marketing. And, you know, 18 months down the track, it's paying off. And likewise for you and for many business owners listening, we don't know when someone's going to be ready to buy from us.
No.
So the idea, you've got a newsletter going out. For me, I have a podcast going out every week. And, you know, we might have some social media activity, some advertising, you might do some networking. And it is all that leads to them getting to know you and you getting to know them a little bit better over the course of time.
A little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit of a relationship. Yeah.
Tas, any other discounting tips, or not discounting tips, how to discount? We know how to discount. Take a percentage off.
That's easy.
How do we avoid it? Anything else before we wrap things up?
I don't think so, mate. Like
it's just so.
It's not.
I was just going to say it's so easy to discount as a business owner. You know, you might have a client on the phone and they're saying, "Can you take 10% off? Can you take 20% off?" And the conversation in your head's going, "Oh, geez, if I do, I'll probably get the job, and I need the job, and I'd love the work." And so, well, you just go, yeah, sure. But that can, you know, that's short-term gain, long-term pain.
It's. I know I've had it before. I understand those conversations, and when you're starting out, you don't understand the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
But found that you fall into a trap of always doing that, and then when the good clients come along, you just don't have the time and resources to look after your ideal client. So when the job that you really want to do, that you've quoted really well on, and they've been really great to deal with up until this point, and you're just busy doing all those discounted jobs, that's when you start to realise, what am I doing here? I'm chasing my tail here. Yeah, I don't have the resources. And then same with I know we went through a phase last year where we started to sack clients because we realised we had to sack them. We had a few noisy clients that were, what I realised, they were taking so much of my time, and I didn't feel like it was all our fault.
Yeah, right.
But then I realised I had some great clients that I wasn't giving them enough time of day, and I thought, wow, the clients that are really good, that we work really well with, that have great experiences with us, we have great experiences with them, I'm dropping the ball there, and I've got this noisy 20% over here that are, you know, tight margins, always a problem, and we just can't seem to work together. I think it's being able to step out of the business and look at it, try and look at objectives and go, wow, I just need to do more of those people.
So
it shouldn't be this hard.
When I hear people do things like that, Tas, I think, well, you must have been able to afford to sack clients. Never an easy thing to do. Were you in a cash flow positive position that, or could you afford not to sack them?
Could I afford? No. It was a big chunk of our business.
Wow.
A big chunk of our business. You have to, at some point you have to go, okay, I can keep doing what I'm doing and keep getting what I got.
Yep.
Or I've got to change.
Good on you, mate.
I'm not saying you dump them in one go. I've done them slowly. I didn't dump everyone in the same day. But you just graduate. But then what happens is you start getting better at identifying who you want to work with.
Yeah, nice.
So 3 Christmases ago, we worked out our 4 markets, and we wrote down who they would look like, what they would be like, how would we work with them, and then we just fit them into those boxes and said, okay, does this potential client fit into this box? Yes or no? If it's a borderline, we'd go, well, we'll give them a go, and then we started classifying them A, B, and C.
Can we role play a client sacking, Tas? I'm the noisy client. Phone goes.
It never ends well. I don't know why. I can't understand why.
I can.
I do it maybe because it might come across with it comes across being a bit of a smart ass, but I honestly tell them this is not working. I wish them all the best. There's plenty of other guys there that can help them. We just don't feel like it's a good match.
Mm-hmm.
And every time so far, I get really nasty emails saying, I can't do this. Do they know who they are? I'm going to go down.
Wow.
My business is going to go, like it's real threatening. And I look at it and go, wow, I'm glad I did that.
That's the nature of the trades business, is it? You're talking to other trades, sacking other kind of. I mean, who are these people?
No, these are potentially customers. They could be. I'm not picking on builders.
Yeah,
it could be a builder.
Right.
It could be a residential home owner that's doing a refurb.
Yeah,
I've done that many times. We're just about to start, and I just knew up until that point it's been so hard to work with the client. We hadn't even started the job.
Yep.
And I would refund the deposit, give them everything that we've done, and say, sorry, we're just not going to work out. And it would go nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Mate. Well, that must be a very freeing feeling for you to then go, you know what, I don't have the burden of these people, and you can focus on those clients that are good people, good payers, potentially more, lots more work, referrals.
Happy to deal with. Better, you're getting a referral from. But sometimes it gets to the point, I know in particular jobs, that I would just see that my staff didn't like working there. My team didn't like working because they were getting drilled all the time. I said, this is not right.
Yeah, right.
You can't talk to people like that. And you just pull them up and go, okay, this is not going to work.
Yeah,
this is not going to work, because then team morale drops when they got to go back to their job for the next 2 or 3 or 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's not, financially, for me, it wasn't a good decision at that time. I just made it a calculated exit.
Mate, I love it. I love hearing those courageous decisions. Just in the past weeks, I've had a business owner who owns the Cherry Bar in Melbourne. He knocked back Lady Gaga from going in. I had a fellow, Soren, who owns a wonderful co-working space called Work Club. He's very selective about who he lets in. He only has 2 people in each category able to join Work Club, plus he's very selective as to who those people are. And it can sound arrogant. It can sound stupid because cash flows everything in business. But at the same time, if we look at it on the other side of that coin, the long-term, the medium-term payoff is that you are going to be surrounded by clients that you want to really do great work for. Your staff are going to love working for you because they're working with good people. And, it makes a lot of sense, mate. Just incredibly brave, that's all.
Yeah, we can't be all things to all people. Everyone can't be our client. And we're not the right fit for anyone. I think when you get business, I think the hardest word in business is no. When you're starting out, I was a yes guy. Yes, I can do it. Even if I couldn't do it, I'll figure it out. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. And then you form a habit going through 10 years later. You keep saying yes, and then you realise, hang on. No, you've got to learn to say no.
Yeah.
No, this is not the right fit for us. Because ultimately, for me anyway, the business, I started the business to serve me, so I could, provide for my family and have a good life, and got 3 kids and just provide for my family, not stress out, wear myself down, and kill myself in work. You've got to sometimes step out and go, what's the big picture here? And my health was, because at one point there, like I was 30 kilos heavier, completely not in a good shape, but I was working really hard. And then my wife, we had our first child, and things changed in my head, just changed completely. I didn't want to be that anymore. I said, okay, this is not working. This whatever we're doing is not working. And then I suppose being able to step out and look at it honestly, I think the hardest thing I see when I'm talking to other painting businesses is for them to be honest where they're at. They're a little bit concerned what other people think, or even what they think, and they don't want to say the truth. Hey, listen, I'm not making any money, or this builder consistently doesn't pay me and rips me off, but I keep going back. Is when you get to pull the curtains away and just go, man, just when you work out where you're at is the best feeling, because that's it. You know where you're at, and then you work out where you want to go. Just fill the gap. And no, it's not easy. It's not easy, but that honesty to go, you know what, running 10 guys, I'm losing $100,000 a year. This can't work. This doesn't work, this model. Am I in it just to look good, or am I in it to actually, have a good life?
Just tell me about that. Again, full of business courage. This one, where are you at? Asking a business owner, no matter what business you're in, Where are you at right now? Be honest. Forget ego. Forget what other people think. Forget the impact of, making a hard decision. Where are you at? What's working? What's not working? Good set of questions.
It's scary. It's scary when you get them to really stop and be honest, because they know the answer. Just they're not stopping to be honest, because there's always a reason or excuse why something's happening.
Yeah.
We all do it. We all do it.
Yep.
Do
you continue
to do it? It always comes
it?
simple to me. I'm a bit more aware of it now, so I'll pull myself up on it.
Yeah, right.
So last financial year, we had a blinder, but what I did wrong is I wasn't focusing on net profit. I was focusing on turnover. Mm-hmm. And this financial year, I've done 20% less, but doubled my profit.
Yep. But
that became me being honest, because 2 years ago, I put the blinkers on and said, yep, I want to increase my business. So I had a bit of a ego trip, and I'm honest that I want to grow it, but I didn't watch my numbers.
Yeah, right.
And so I sat down and go, okay, I looked at myself, what a dickhead. Okay, that's not what I want to be in business for.
Yeah.
I want the business to be busy. I want the business to make a profit and look after the family and my extended family. So this year I reset, and we did it, and we changed the whole model. I got my numbers better down. I know what I got really clear on what our leading indicators were in our business. So I knew which numbers we needed to hit for us to make certain, profit at the end. But yeah, I do it regularly.
Do you do all this by yourself, Taz? Do you have a mentor or a coach or someone that you seek support from?
Not at the moment. I've had coaches in the past. Probably haven't had a mentor or a coach for a couple of years now.
Sounds like you're a mentor to a lot.
I'm fortunate enough to be contacted by a lot of people in my industry to talk about it. But I really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I really get a lot out of it. I really enjoy it. And I really like seeing guys, the light bulb flick, and they go, that's what it is.
Yeah, lovely.
That's what it is, because it's the confusion that makes the stress. For me, it's about trying to work out what's predictable, keep doing it to get my result. And it's just showing them that it doesn't need to be confusing. Mm-hmm. Just keep it simple, get real honest. And if you have to sack that builder that's not paying, then you have to be honest. Yep. Harden up, because you're not in the business to support other people. You're in business unless you're in that business. But yeah, in this industry, no, you're not.
Taz, I love talking to you, mate. You must have a number of quotes to do, so I won't hold you up anymore. Keep on punching way above your weight is all I got to say.
Thank you.
Good on you.
Thanks for the chat.
Well, there you go. Tas Moulis, QPaint.com.au. Enough marketing gold in there for you? Oh, I love talking to business owners like Taz. He has been around the block a couple of times, made some mistakes, along with some very brave marketing and business decisions. And now he's got a business he loves. Now, shortly we're going to go on site with the Orange Sky Laundry guys and having a very personal chat with one of their volunteers and homeless friends. But before we do that, here's 3 things that grabbed my attention from my chat with Taz. Attention grabber number 1. Acknowledge that discounting really is a race to the bottom, right? In particular, avoid discounting with new clients. This sets a precedent that is pretty hard to break once you've set it. Instead, work hard at ensuring they see massive value in you and what you offer. I talk about this a lot in The Boomerang Effect, in my book, The Boomerang Effect. Attention grabber number 2, actively look for a problem and fix it. I like this idea. It's so beautifully counterintuitive, but it works. Look at this idea as if you're a customer, right? How cool would it be for a business you're dealing with to bring a problem to your attention and then tell you it's been fixed? You'd be like, hey, these guys are onto it. Such a great way to build trust. And attention grabber number 3, I've got to say, I found Taz's tough decisions so inspiring. Like, he refuses to discount when a simple 10% off could secure the job. How many times have you been confronted with that decision? He chose to stop painting, something he's very good at, and focus on the high-value activities like quoting, which quadrupled his business. He sacked clients that made him and his staff miserable, and then identified 4 types of clients he did want to work with. Love that as an idea. You want to go back also to episode 183, where I talk with dentist Paddy Lund, who also sacked 75% of his clients. Great example. What he did after that was give the remaining 25% 2 business cards and ask them to hand it out to people just like them, people that Paddy wanted to work with. And back to Tas, that question, he's gutsy enough to ask and answer, where are we really at? I guess both personally and in our business. Some tough decisions, some big questions, love it all. What grabbed your attention? Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/321 and let me know. Next up, get ready to be moved, as I have a life-changing conversation with Herb, a homeless friend from Orange Sky Laundry. But first, here's a couple of businesses that can help you get your marketing under control. Support for this show comes from WebCentral, who are pretty damn good at driving traffic and leads your way. Verity Ma, their marketing head honcho, recently drew an interesting analogy for what a website without traffic is like.
Your website is a billboard in the desert if you don't have any traffic coming to it. So similar to having an advertisement out in the Sahara Desert, if you don't have any traffic driving past it, then people aren't going to know anything about your business. That's a bit of a waste of time. So yes, it's important, and a first step is to get that billboard, which is your website. But past that, you need to actually get found, and then from getting found, get leads into your business. So you need to get traffic or cars driving past your website to actually know what you do, what your business offers, and how you're different to your competitors. Because your competitors are out there getting traffic to their websites.
Do camels count as traffic? WebCentral, helping your website get found fast. Visit webcentral.com.au for exclusive listener offers.
Get on Timbo's mailing list over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.
The Small Business Big Marketing Show is also grateful for the support of Aussie-owned business Designcrowd.com, the world's #1 custom design marketplace where it's beautifully simple and cheap. I love cheap. To get a design you love, guaranteed. I asked founder Alec Lynch what problems Designcrowd solved for us small business owners.
Buying design has traditionally been an expensive process, a slow process, and a risky process. Designcrowd's crowdsourcing solution fixes those problems.
Designcrowd.com, a faster, cheaper, more creative way to get a custom logo, graphic, or print design for your business. For a special VIP offer that can save you up to $100 on your first design, visit designcrowd.com/Timbo. Okay, so in last week's episode, we met 2 amazing young blokes, Lucas and Nick, the founders of Orange Sky Laundry, which is a free mobile laundry service for homeless people. If you haven't listened to that episode, I encourage you to do so. Go back. It's episode 320. After the interview, I went and volunteered at one of their vans that was set up on a very cold winter's night in Melbourne's CBD. I helped out with the laundry and was also lucky enough to chat with Matt, one of the volunteers, and Herb, one of Orange Sky's homeless friends. The insights and life lessons I got from both of them were nothing short of inspirational. Here's volunteer Matt, an IT specialist by day, sharing a moment that stood out for him during his time at Orange Sky.
I was never one of those people who walk past and go, oh, get staffed or that, but you sort of didn't give it a second thought. Now there's a story behind
Every person.
Yeah.
One in particular stand out for you?
No, there's just so many. There's a bloke who's here tonight, this guy Matt, who comes up here and he told us last week he started doing shoe shining around the city and that to make to get some coin and get himself a hot feed himself and buying his stuff and that. That's sort of. So just little things like that make it. This is it's good. So
where are those orange chairs I was expecting?
They're in the van, and the reason they're in the van is we play here. I've got to be careful what I say here. You might need to get the boys to check this out before it goes. But we've got a permit, but the council play a bit of.
Oh, here we go.
Here, go here, no drive around for 15 minutes. Then we've got. I won't say their name, but there's a retailer to your right who occasionally calls the police because we're bringing down the standards. And
can I mention them? That's the big question.
I'll leave that up to the boys. And they can decide, but there's only one retailer we're in front of, so it's okay. It's a bit bit disappointing, but it's funny because the guy on the door there, every time I pull up, he waves. But so I think it's more people, his manager's telling him.
Yeah, gotcha.
So he's always gives you a thumb as if to say, "Shit, man, I'm sorry." As the police officers said when they come on over, they go, "You guys bringing down the neighbourhood, having a good laugh," and they're just like,
good on you.
Come on.
Hey, for you though, just getting back to you, what's it done for your mindset or well-being, getting involved?
For me, it's really been probably not to worry about little things. That's, those, I say those stupid little corporate things, someone does this or someone sends an email that's just like fair income,
move on.
Oh geez, lift the sugar thing, half thing, and goes around the office, the sort of thing. You're like, now you're just like,
love it.
That's it. Who cares?
Right.
Really, that's what it's. Just puts things in perspective. How lucky, at the end of this, you go home. You go drive home. You got the girls. Go home too.
Yeah, your girls.
Yeah, got two girls. My wife Trace is actually here tonight.
Oh, hello, Trace. How are you?
So,
wondering why you're standing there at the back. I thought you were spying on us.
So it's just
good on you.
Puts things in perspective.
I noticed too, as I've been interviewing you, you've slowly made your way up Collins Street, away from the microphone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know. It's nervous in front of the.
It's all right, mate. Do you want to show me around?
Yeah.
And if you need to do something,
no,
get into it.
No problem. So what we've got, I'll start at the back. 2 commercial washers. 10 kilo washers each. Fresh water. Grey water, so everything is always fresh water, so we never use recycled water. We get about six loads out of the tank.
Mate, they are serious washing machines.
Yeah,
I think I could fit inside one.
Yeah,
and I'm not a small bloke, and neither are you.
No,
hey?
You get a doona in there, no problem.
A doona? You get a bed in there.
Yeah.
What are we talking like? I think the boy said 27-minute cycles for the washing.
That's right. 27 minutes. Goes through. Ways it does all these fancy things, so it only uses the water it needs to. So,
how long's a dry take?
Now, depending on the load, half an hour to 40 odd minutes. So sometimes if you get a big load, it slows the.
Every time I put something in the dryer, it shrinks. Every time.
Yeah. I haven't had any complaints.
No complaints yet?
No complaints yet about shrinking.
What else we got? Soap, sanitary products.
Got some sanitary products. So these are all donated. So you can find donations. People can drop by.
So people can drop by here and drop in some toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap, sanitary products, money.
There is money in there.
There's a bit of coin in there, 35 cents.
I didn't even notice that.
We'll increase that as the time goes by. I might do a bit of spruiking.
So we've got a few little. So when we drive to stop the drums moving around.
Oh yeah. A few wedges, whatever you call
it.
A
couple of clamps.
Righto.
Pretty straightforward. Does the job.
That's it. What's around the side?
So this is
I'm getting the tour, fellas.
Yeah, well, don't get lost.
Don't get lost.
So we've got the 2 dryers in there. So 2 commercial dryers.
Yep.
The liquid pumps up into the machines automatically. Generator. So this runs the whole thing straight off the diesel.
Yeah, right. I can see why they're $100,000 to set up.
Yeah, absolutely they are.
All of a sudden, it becomes an expensive little outfit, doesn't it?
It does. And look, some sites, which is good. So tomorrow at St Mary's and at Batman Park down underneath the bridge, we can take 3-phase power. So there, which is great. Don't need to use the generator. We can plug in the water for either refilling or using the water on those sites.
Mate, what a great setup.
Yeah, and then it's all controlled by. We've actually got an app, but at the moment they're setting
the boys were telling us about this.
Yeah, so there's an app that runs it. So signing in and you put in, so the boys are in the process of setting that up for Melbourne.
So that's not a customer-facing app. That is an app that helps run these vans. Is that correct?
So the idea behind the app is to, I suppose, make sure, so you can log in staff, you can log where you are, you can turn the machines on. As you're doing the washes, you can put in the people's names, a little bit of information, just like male, female, the type of clothing, so that they can get a bit of an idea how busy. At the moment, when we don't use that, we fill it in at the end of the night. So it gives the boys an idea of the kind of the kind of friends that are and what the needs are, and try and tailor it.
Good on you, Matt.
Keep them running.
Mate, let's get stuck in. I really appreciate that tour.
No worries at all.
Just tell me what to do and I'll bloody do it.
All right, you want to have a...
So, after Matt showed me how everything worked, I sat down with one of Orange Sky's homeless friends, a great fellow called Herb. Now, the first thing Herb did was he gave me 2 free tickets to the footy that he'd been given but couldn't use. Overcome by his generosity, I asked him why he couldn't use them. He pointed to 4 bags that contained his life possessions and that he wouldn't be allowed to take them into the ground. Plus, he didn't have any money for a pie and Coke, so why bother, he said. Now, Herb may be homeless, but like everyone in Melbourne, he does love the footy. So that's where our conversation began. Who do you follow?
I'm Carlton supporter.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, but this one...
And you're wearing a St Kilda top.
Yeah, I got that for free because it was a runner. It's like seconds. See, that's for the elbow.
Yeah, I got you.
But it's not there.
I got you.
Yeah, so I got that for free, and beggars can't be choosers. That's my old coat here, and you can. It's sort of like falling apart.
Oh, geez, it looks all right to me.
See.
Oh, yeah, no, a few holes in it.
If you want to wear it, I mean,
I'm all right. I'm going okay at the moment.
Yeah.
Hey, Herb, how'd you hear about Orange Sky?
Yeah, so I came to get food because I'm homeless, and they came here, and this group that was arranging the food, they explained to me like about these guys, you know, and I saw them, you know.
How long ago is this?
Oh, this was about a year back, you know.
Yep.
It's up like around a year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, sort of. Yeah, and I've been coming in now for like a couple of months now, you know. I come on a Friday, and they come here on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah.
And they also go down near the casino on Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So here seems pretty quiet, but last night down at the casino, they were there till 8 o'clock. So there
Chockers, was it?
Yeah, you know, yeah. So there's times when they're busy. You know?
Matt tells me this is a less busy location.
Yeah. So that's why
That's why you come here, eh?
Yeah,
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Well, the last time I went on Thursday, a few guys came with like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, right.
I just had a few things, so I just let them go.
Yeah.
Go
What did you do before Orange Sky came along?
I used to go to the Brunswick Salvos and I used to wash there. You know,
Yeah.
They've just got one washer and one dryer, so there's a bit of a queue.
You
know? Yeah, so I just was coming here to get food, and then I saw him here, and I thought, well, I can kill 2 birds with one stone.
Mate.
I can get something to eat and get my clothes.
So the community kitchen's round the corner, is it? They put on a feed?
Yeah, they get all foods from the shops and that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so all the food's fresh. What doesn't get sold, usually that used to go in the bin. Yep. Which goes into landfill, right?
Yeah.
So now it comes here and it feeds the homeless, and it's really nice food, you know, like it's fancy.
What's your favourite?
Oh, probably steak sandwich.
Oh, yeah, I love a steak sandwich.
You
go the onion? I always had no onion.
Yeah, well, if it's got it, I'm not going to
You're not going to say no.
No, but I've had stuff like smoked salmon and that, you know.
Yeah.
And I've got a roll here with prosciutto.
Oh, hello.
Would you
looks
like
all
that
right.
too?
No, I wouldn't, but... Take to the footy on Sunday, you reckon?
Oh, you know, it'll still be good, hey?
No, I won't, because I'm actually off the bread.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. I eat the filling, and then I eat about half the roll.
Good idea.
And then the rest I give to the possums, which you're not supposed to do. But it's
winter. Doesn't matter, mate.
It's winter.
It's winter. Everyone's got to work hard to get what they get. The possums included.
Yeah. I just give them food in winter because it's so cold, right? But once it starts to get warm, then I stop. You know?
Right.
Yeah, you know.
And obviously Orange Sky's been a bit of a game changer for you. You love coming here. I mean, I imagine
it works so good.
You get your clothes clean. You have a chin wag.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of guys down near the casino, right? And if they want to wash clothes, they've got to go on public transport, go here, and then maybe you've got to wait. You know, there's times when I've got to wait a couple of weeks before I can wash clothes up the Salvos.
Yeah, right.
Because there's a queue, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
And it's first come, first serve, you know?
Yep.
So if these ones come right where they're sleeping, it's perfect, you know?
Yep.
You know, because if you've got a bag of stuff and you go on the tram, you know, and then also back then I think there was no free tram zones. So you wonder, you know, if you're not paying, if you're fare evading because you've got no income, you know, no dole or that, you know, then you know it's sort of like you know, it's not something that you look forward to, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, but now when they're right here and it's the free tram zone, I'll just come and wash it, and there's no fear, you know what I mean, or like embarrassment, you know. Like
why would there be?
You know, I'm homeless, I've got to go wash my clothes. That's why I'm not paying, you know. Yeah. That's why I'm catching the tram, you know, yeah.
Bern, I'm going to come clean with you, excuse the pun, being around Orange Sky Laundry. You're the first homeless friend I've ever met.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you are.
Who said we're friends,
Well, the Orange
don't
Sky.
listen to me.
Yeah, I was waiting for a bit of stick from you.
Yeah.
But Orange Sky, I like the way the Orange Sky guys. I mean, you are. I mean, as a homeless friend, what's a day look like to you?
For me, it's you sort of get up, and then you got to go to the toilet, which isn't close,
Where are you getting up from?
I'm up at Princess Park. I'm up the back of the footy ground, So
Yep.
there's toilets there that are close.
Yep.
But sometimes in winter they're not close enough.
Yeah,
You gotta make
yeah.
a whiz,
Yeah.
But I only do it on a tree if I got to go.
Yep.
What I mean? Yeah. But so go there, and then from there you go for brekkie. So you got to get on the tram. And today, cause it rained, a lot of people who normally ride their bikes, they caught the tram, and all the trams are all packed, So there's times when you've got to get the tram before 7.
Yep.
Because I've got my clothes.
So you got a bit there. You got to. What do you got? 4 bags there.
Yeah. So I've got all stuff to like wash yourself with. See all that? Yeah.
You got the lot.
Yeah,
You've got
and like water and clean clothes. And if like it gets cold now, I can put on more clothes.
Yeah, right.
If it gets warm, I can take them off and put them in.
So you get up at Princess Park, which for a lot of my listeners, they won't know where that is, but that's a footy ground, a suburb out of Melbourne. What do you got there? Is there?
Oh, there's toilets. There's a water tap.
Yeah.
That's at the back.
And you
of
bed
footy
down
ground.
what behind? Just in one of the alcoves there on the.
Just behind the footy ground. We're sort of like allowed to sleep there, but
Yeah,
you
right.
can't live there, So I sort of go there.
So you
late at
take
night.
off into the street, into the city of a morning.
Yeah, go for breakfast, and then because breakfast, like you've got to get there, and then you've got to get a seat, So it takes a bit of time.
Where's that? Is that at one of the?
I've been going to the Salvos in Burke Street.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's sort of go for a coffee and that, get some food, and then like a couple hours later you can go back for lunch,
Yeah,
so
right.
I might leave there, go charge my phone or something, which means I've got to find a power point.
Yep.
Because I'm homeless, I've got
Yeah,
no power.
Yep.
So I'll go like someplace, where I know there's a power point, charge the phone up, then I might come back, And there's times when if you want to get out of the city, the trams get packed.
Yeah, they do.
When it's lunchtime, so then you can't get out until after lunch, like about 2 o'clock, So you sort of spend your whole day just getting food, like staying clean a bit, if you want to go for a shave or something.
Yep.
You can do all that stuff at the Salvos too.
Yeah, right.
But I've got my own places where I go. Like I just go up the park. There's some new toilets there with a full-length mirror.
Yeah, right.
I just go there. It's quiet. I'm not in no one's way, and I can have a shave and do what I need to do, if I want to change clothes and stuff. Because the ones there are real big, so I can put all my bags in there.
What were you doing? What was your last job, Herb?
My last, I was working as a motor mechanic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Still love the cars?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Do you?
I'm like a bit of a car freak.
What's your favourite?
Oh,
Let me guess. I reckon you would be. I reckon you're a Ford bloke.
Yeah, I actually
I get
a
it?
Ford dealer.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I knew it. I don't know why. What do you say to, just to finish up, what do you say to, well, I don't really know what my question is here, but it's about like homeless people respected by others.
Look, I've been homeless for nearly 3 years now,
Yep.
right? Everyone's been nice to me. The inspectors on the trams,
Yeah,
the
right.
drivers, the
Good on 'em.
police, they've all been nice to me.
Yep.
And we live good here. The government takes care of us. The government does have bills to pay.
Yep.
They're trying to do their best, and
Yep.
it's not that bad. But I'm well fed, and I get to wash my clothes and all that stuff,
Yep.
And eventually I'll get a place to stay, So it's just a matter of time,
Right, you got your name down somewhere, and at some point they give you a community house in
something.
Collingwood, or
Yeah.
hopefully it's not Collingwood, more Carlton for you, given your barrack for the Blues.
Yeah. So I'm waiting, but there's places around. There's rooms we get a share house.
Yeah, right.
So there's
Yep.
there's places around. But where I'm staying, all the people there are real nice.
Good.
I've been sleeping around that park now for like a few years.
Yeah.
They're all real nice and that. You know? Yeah. So I'm clean and tidy. I don't make any messes and that.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah. So I've had no dramas or that.
What a beautiful human being is Herb. I could have kept chatting to Herb for hours and hours. Here's what he taught me. Number 1, there's always someone worse off than you. Number 2, be grateful for what you have. And number 3, you don't need a lot to be happy. I had a much longer chat with Herb and another one of Orange Sky's homeless friends, plus I share the more intimate moments of my time on site in an hour-long episode, which I'm just going to post over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/321. So you're not going to find it in iTunes, just over on the website. I encourage you to take a listen, and hopefully it motivates you to help them out, which you can do over at orangeskylaundry.com.au. Well, that almost wraps up another episode of the Small Business Big Marketing Show. If you loved it, then go ahead and pay it forward by letting another business owner know about the show. One I could do with a little bit of marketing love, because there is plenty more where this came from. Recently, I chatted with Kelly Baker Jamieson of Edible Blooms, a business that sends bouquets made from chocolates and fruits to people you love, or at least want to thank. And it's a business that's also getting a lot of media coverage. I asked Kelly, how does she do it?
I certainly, in the early days when I was building the business on a shoestring, the media was definitely my friend, because we bet well above our weight in the media coverage that we had. You know, within the first few years of business, I was on the cover of quite a few magazines and things like that, which was amazing, and certainly helped build our brand with our target audience. So I guess the way I've done that is always being available to the media. So when you have someone from the media that wants to contact you, you've got to make yourself available.
Good on you.
When they want to speak to you. So that if that means cancelling a meeting or speaking while you're doing another task, you do it. And
I interviewed Michelle Bridges while she was washing the dishes.
Yeah. Well, there's a good example of the media darling, actually.
You'll find my full interview with Kelly, plus hundreds more, including that Michelle Bridges episode, over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. Or you can subscribe free on iTunes. Be sure to check out designcrowd.com.au/Timbo if you need any marketing materials designed for that beautiful business of yours. There's an exclusive listener offer waiting for you over at that link. And webcentral.com.au/Timbo, who can build you a custom website and manage it for you as well. That way you can concentrate on the high value stuff that Tas talked about. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid, always have been, always will be. Thanks for listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.